Back again at the 2015 SHOT Show in Las Vegas. I'd like to make an announcement that I feel is probably one of the more important things that we've done as a knife company and me as an individual. And I want to preface it by saying I hope most of you are familiar with Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman. He's the author of this book on killing, which was became kind of a standard reading material for all military recruits at all the military academies, West Point, etc. And on combat, he wrote another book. He's also a world-famous lecturer and instructor in the effects of combat on an individual and how to be more effective as a person engaged in combat. He's a West Point instructor. I guess the best thing I can say is if you don't know who David is, because I could go on for a half hour telling you who he is just to Google him up under Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman. That's all you have to type in. You'll see all of his accomplishments and everything. He's probably one of the most in-demand public speakers in the tactical world, period. I've looked at him as a person that was an inspiration to me and was a hero to me, actually, as a former Ranger and everything else, and was just one of those people that I had always looked up to. I attended some of his lectures, I've read all of his books, knew him a little bit just because we circulated in some of the same circles for a while. And lo and behold, about a year ago, I got an email from Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman asking me if I would be interested in building a knife for him with his blessing and some of his design input on what that knife should be. And I was so surprised that I actually asked him, I said, is this the real Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman that I'm speaking to? Because, you know, it's like Babe Ruth coming in to teach you how to hit a baseball. That's the way that I viewed it, you know. And so he said, yeah, this is me, Ernie, and I do want to have you guys build a knife for me. So he said, I've got a couple things I'd like to have the knife have in the design. And one of them was a flipper, and one of them was a very pronounced guard at the bottom of the knife once it's open. And I said, I think we could do that. I said, we've never done a flipper before, but I'll give it my best shot. And so we designed a knife. Now, these knives are basically what I would call a combat utility knife, or a utility combat knife, if you will, or a utility, better yet, probably a utility defensive knife. And these are designed with the input from David, or Mr. Grossman, to go directly to police and military. So there's certain aspects that he wanted to have. He wanted a knife that was the right size. He wanted a knife that had the ability to be opened in a multiple of ways in a high-stress environment, under gross motor skills application, if you will. So here we go. This is the first one we did. It's a Bowie-style blade, and it's called the Sheepdog, the Rangemaster Sheepdog. And it is about the same size as one of our CQC7s because, again, you know, there are certain things that you need to be aware of when you design a knife. It has to be something that will fit in a pocket that an officer or an operator would carry. It can't be too big, it can't be too obtrusive. It has the wave feature, so it can be opened by the wave. It has the button top, so you can open it with your thumb conventionally. And it also has the flipper action so that you can open it like that. That flipper also becomes a very pronounced guard down here at the bottom of the handle so that your hand won't slip forward if you ever have to jab it into something. So we've got this model right here. I looked at it and said, you know, we can make another knife using everything the same, design the blade a little different, give it a little stronger blade, if you will, maybe even more suited for hard use. So we came up with the spearpoint version, the same knife. And that is the spearpoint Emerson Rangemaster Sheepdog knife. And those will be available through all of our dealer network. They'll be available directly from Emerson Knives. They will also be available directly through Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman at his website. sheepdoggunandknife.com, I believe. So you'll be able to get this knife in a variety of ways, and also David will also have the knives at his lectures and things like that, so that you can actually buy a knife directly from him if you'd like to. So these are two of the knives that I'm probably some of the most proud of that we've ever done, just because of who David is and what he represents. And I really am very, very pleased with how they came out, and I think you guys are going to love it. And plus, it's the first Emerson flipper, and they both use the bearing system, so they're smooth as silk.